As we move into the holiday season and the end of our third year of My Wife the Dietitian, we thought we'd celebrate by revisiting some past episodes.
We've chosen some that suit the holiday season, as well as a few of your favorites.
We want to thank you all for listening to our weekly banter, and we look forward to sharing more with you in the coming year.
Wishing you all the best in health and happiness over the holidays.
Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian, a fun weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy lifestyle. I'm Rob, and together with my wife Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative and entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
Join us each week as we strive to help you with transforming your overall health and relationship with food through up-to-date, evidence-based nutrition information.
Today we are talking about red wine and whether it's helpful, as many studies suggest, or harmful. New evidence is showing the direct relationship between alcohol consumption and certain cancers, heart disease, and other health issues. Canada has just released new guidelines for what they feel is safe when it comes to drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I think that's a huge change to say 2 drinks a week. And they're calling moderate risk 3 to 6 drinks a week.
Stay with us to learn everything you need to know about red wine. Is it helpful or harmful? Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello, Sandra.
Hey, Rob.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Welcome to episode 57 of My Wife the Dietitian. We're talking today about red wine.
Helpful or harmful?
Yeah, helpful or harmful. There's always that quandary when it comes to wine specifically and alcohol in general. It's almost dry February, right? Cancer prevention, kind of dry February month. We did an episode last year, 2022, on cancer prevention, and
episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5, one of our beginning episodes, and it focused a lot on alcohol. And the rules have changed in Canada, at least.
The guidelines.
Not the rules. The guidelines, I guess, have changed on alcohol consumption. So we're going to be talking a lot about that today, and deciding whether red wine is helpful or harmful. And before we get into that, we just want to share some other news with you. I've been busy this week uploading all of our podcast episodes onto YouTube. So for all those YouTube fans out there who like to get your information from YouTube, which is a great source, it's a lot easier in some cases to find it on YouTube. So yeah, we're on there. Just audio at the moment, but we will be adding some short video clips of various things in the future. So check out the page, give us a like on there or subscribe, and enjoy that platform. So let's get into our talk today. We're going to talk a whole bunch about different things to do with red wine. And Sandra, I'll turn it over to you, and you can get us going here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned about the guidelines changing, because it's a big change from the 2011 guidelines, where it was 10 drinks a week for women, 15 drinks a week for men. So 1 to 2 a day was, fairly safe, not risky, okay for health. And as we mentioned last year at the end of January, when we did episode 5 on cancer prevention, we talked all about how there's no level of alcohol that's safe for cancer risk, because it is a carcinogen, and we know that having alcohol in your system can increase your risk of cancer. So that's part of what informed the new guidelines from this Canadian Centre for Substance Use and Addiction that now in Canada they've used. And they're saying that low risk is 1 to 2 drinks a week.
A week, yeah.
That's
people
huge
are like, what?
Difference. I know.
What?
It's a lot different. And
having said that, though, the 15 drinks a week for men, I'm like, what? That seemed to me, that seemed pretty steep. But I know there's people who do that. They go out and have a few drinks every day after work and a few more on the weekend with friends. You know, at 15 you can get to 15 pretty quick. But
yeah,
for myself, that's just not how I live my life. So it seemed like, wow, that's a lot. But
and men do tend to drink more. The research shows that 68% of men drink, 64% of women drink, and men do have a higher tolerance. And they, you know, that's why I think it was 2 drinks a day for men, like the last guidelines, and 1 for women. So it's
right.
Just they have higher lean muscle and they metabolize alcohol differently, just like the caffeine that we talked a little bit about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And we're going to talk about red wine. So what does 1 drink look like? That people always ask that. So it's like 5 ounces of red wine, 5 ounces of wine.
And now 5 ounces, if you take a measuring cup, that's 1 cup, 5 ounces is a little over half of that.
It's like 8 ounces is a cup.
Is a cup, yeah. So 5 ounces isn't really a lot of wine.
No.
Like if you take one of those big wine glasses, 5 ounces would be like a third of that maybe. Like some people will fill it right up, you know, over half. And I'm like, that's like 12 ounces maybe. That's not, you know, that doesn't count as your glass of wine. That's like 3 glasses of wine.
Well, everything's bigger. And, you know, it just seems like nowadays that, you know, bigger is better. Portions are bigger everywhere. And then you get those massive wine glasses that are like, you know, fish bowls.
Exactly. You pour 2 glasses of wine and the bottle's almost empty. It's like, oh, what happened?
That's right. So 5 ounces of wine, 12 ounces of beer, and 1.5 ounces of liquor, like hard liquor.
Right.
So that's considered a drink. And so, yeah, I think that's a huge change to say 2 drinks a week. And they're calling moderate risk 3 to 6 drinks a week.
So that's if you have 1 drink a day, say 5 out of 5 days a week, then that's moderate risk, which doesn't seem like a lot of, you know, you have a beer after work.
Yeah.
Or a glass of wine or whatever. It seems pretty innocent, but that is now considered a moderate risk.
Amazing.
For cancer and some other health issues, right? It's not just cancer, or is it specifically, or it's targeted more towards cancer, I guess.
Well, actually, no, we do talk about other, like early death, like risk of early death.
Death.
Yeah. Kind of based on this concept of longevity or years of life lost, and it's YLL. So they're saying that light drinking is 17.5 years of life lost in 1,000 lifetimes, whereas moderate drinking can lead to 17.5 years of life lost in 100 lifetimes. So it seems so confusing.
Yeah, it is a bit confusing, but
but it is basically, they're saying that with moderate drinking, you have an increased risk of dependence on alcohol, increased risk of addiction, of alcoholism, of liver cirrhosis, weight gain. And higher intakes can affect your brain, you know, your major organ, the brain. It can increase the risk of dementia. But, you know, this is where like the science and evidence is progressing, but there is mixed messages because, you know, we've all heard about the French paradox or the Mediterranean diet and how that is helpful for longevity and people are healthier that have a Mediterranean lifestyle.
which includes red wine.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And
Yeah.
in the Mind Diet in episode 14, 1 glass of red wine a day actually help reduce risk of Alzheimer's, especially in people that have Alzheimer's genetic marker. So there is something to that. And that's why I wanted to talk about red wine specifically, helpful or harmful. And I think it's interesting, and I think it's all about the doses and the poisons, so the amount, right? Because it's the red skins in the red wine, the grape skins, that give us the resveratrol, did I say that right?
It's pretty close. That's a tough one.
Resveratrol, and it's an antioxidant that is in the dark, like it's like the dark color of the red and the purple grape skins that make the red wine. And we know that helps reduce various cancer risk. It helps reduce the risk of dementia, but it's just, the amount of resveratrol that you need is more than in a glass of wine. So that's the other thing. So you get, you have one glass of wine, but you're also getting the alcohol, which is the carcinogen.
Right.
So a glass of red wine, the de-alcoholized wine, has the resveratrol too. So that's another way to get it. Or eating grapes, like having the grapes with the skin, will give you that resveratrol. But with the French paradox or the Mediterranean diet, we don't know, we're not certain if it's the wine or if it's another factor. Could it be the other phytochemicals and polyphenols from the plant foods, from the lentils, from the olive oil, the nuts and seeds?
Other aspects of the diet, right?
That's right. The sardines, yeah. So, we think of, okay, so there's this whole lifestyle. It's not one element. And so, because people love their red wine and they, basically we often hear what we want. Like I think we mentioned about, chocolate is good. Oh, let's have a chocolate, a candy bar. Well, it's not, it's the dark chocolate. That's what has the protective polyphenols. And
it's not 3 times a day.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's that, the wine, 5 ounces of red wine, looks like it could be helpful to help with preventing dementia. It actually helps with reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke and early death. It helps improve your HDLs, your good cholesterol, and reduce your LDLs and reduce inflammation. But that's 5 ounces, and it's not a bottle, and it's not another glass. So it's about, making those informed choices and trying to, learn the information and then live your life based on, the informed choice.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
And actually, that brings me to this awesome letter to the editor in a local newspaper. It's hilarious. Right after the guidelines came out, there was so much media around it, right? It's a big change, like it's
a huge change.
Yeah, for many people. And this lady, it was awesome. Let's have a toast to a long life. So her letter to the editor was, for about 50 years, I've enjoyed 1 glass of red wine almost daily in the company of family or friends. At 84, I remained fit, active, and happy. Any heart problems or cancer that arrive in the future will be accepted as my exit plan.
That's awesome.
And then she goes on to say, I believe that fast food, soda, pop, and excess salt and sugar, along with smoking, cause most health problems. I will continue to enjoy my pre-dinner glass. And I love that, because that's the informed risk. That's like, you know what? I'm 84. Give me, like, this is quality of life.
Totally.
And I enjoy this. And I think there is something about that. Like, alcohol does help just, with stress at the end of the day, just a little bit. Like, you don't have to drink a lot, just a little bit to get that nice.
Yeah, she's not like doing tequila shots at the bar with the local drinking team. It's
ripped grannies.
Ripped grannies.
You're funny.
Getting it on.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a responsible part of her healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
She's not abusing it.
I think I'm sure a lot of people read that and agree, because, don't take away some pleasure of life, right? It's just like a glass of red wine, like what? All of a sudden I only can have 2 a week?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, anyways. And then there was another hilarious cartoon in the local newspaper, Rayside, because with these new guidelines, they're looking at possible warning labels on alcohol, and
like they have on the cigarette packages.
You got it.
Right, yeah.
You got it. Like the negative, the awful pictures, and the
fear.
Exactly, the fear marketing. So to prevent people from buying buying it. So he says in his first picture, warning labels on alcoholic beverages. If so, design them to be more effective. So the first picture is hilarious, and it says, warning, alcohol may make you think you're funnier than you actually are.
Yeah, that's so true.
This guy with like a lampshade on his head, and everybody's just looking at him sideways like, what? And he's got a big drink in his hand.
Yeah.
It's so
Life
funny.
of the party.
That's right, life of the party. And the next one is warning. More than 3 drinks at an office function can lead to unemployment.
Yeah.
It's got the employee, he's got a drink, and he's like all red in the face, and he's like got his finger in his boss's chest and going,
That's awesome.
It's so funny. And there's a Christmas tree in the background.
It's like a truth serum.
That's right. Well, then the last one kills me. It's warning, alcohol can make the guy at the end of the bar seem hot.
Totally. I think it's called beer goggles, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
it's so
that's
funny.
a classic.
Oh my goodness. So, it's pretty hilarious. Like, obviously it sparked a lot of debate. It sparked a lot of media, and there's a lot of, pros and cons with these new guidelines. So, I think that was pretty funny to see those in the paper though.
Totally. Exactly.
Yeah. So, what's the takeaway message here with the red wine?
It seems like it's something, well, a few things. First thing I was going to mention is I think there's a lot more options for those who are looking to replace alcohol or red wine with a non-alcoholic beverage. I think there's a lot more options now than there used to be 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's maybe we need to question why we're drinking alcohol. Is it just habit, or do you actually need the alcohol? Is the alcohol doing anything, or is it just, like I said, a habit that you do every day after work? Mm-hmm. Or when you're out with friends, like, do you need to have alcohol? So if you're looking at cutting back because of the health risks, then maybe you could look at some other potential options that might be a healthier choice.
Yeah.
Like I said, because there are a lot more options out there now than there used to be. And it's a lot more acceptable, I think, for people to be drinking non-alcoholic beverages in a social setting. A lot of that has to do with the designated driver kind of the drinking and driving campaigns that have been going around for years now. It's acceptable for people to be like, or comfortable, I guess, to be with your friends but not drinking. There's not the same kind of pressure or stigma that there used to be. Oh, how come you're not drinking tonight? Or, that kind of thing there used to be. So yeah, if you are looking at cutting back, I think there are some options out there. And the second thing, what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say, but it'll come to me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think, I don't think there's any healthcare professional or doctors or anything that would suggest to a non-drinker to start drinking. So alcohol likely kills more people than it saves, and unfortunately they tend to be younger because of the risk of accidents and injury and all that. So definitely don't start if you aren't a drinker. But if you do drink daily and maybe you like red wine and you're drinking red wine, maybe aim for 2 days a week of no alcohol, or trying the de-alcoholized wine, or having, as Rob said, like other options for drinks, for like a non-alcoholic drink 2 days a week. So kind of, you were just reading, Rob, about any level of reduction in your alcohol intake is probably good for your health and a benefit for the body.
Yeah, I was reading that like the people who drink the most are the ones who are going to benefit, have the most to gain by cutting back on their alcohol consumption, which makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And definitely try more the red plant foods like the grapes with skins, beets, pomegranate. Look at episode 54. We talked all about those red foods, plant foods that give us the prebiotics that help with our bile health. And they love eating all the red-based foods, and that's really good for us. So the grapes with skin gives you the resveratrol.
Resveratrol. Yeah, we'll
it's
get that word.
RESVERATROL.
R-A.
R-A-T-R-O-L. That's right. Resveratrol. Is that really the magical element in grape skins that is so beneficial as an antioxidant? But anyways, so that is my take-home message: is aim for 2 days a week of no drinking, and then look at trying some of those de-alcoholized wines and see about taste and if you like those, because they do have those beneficial polyphenols and antioxidants.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll just stress once again too that when it comes to alcohol, the red wine is, as far as health is concerned, I guess it's at a higher standard health-wise than beer and liquor. So what we're discussing here, having drinks every week kind of thing, we're referring more to red wine than tequila shots. So just keep that in mind. There is some health benefits to red wine. So
sounds good.
Awesome. So don't forget to check out the YouTube page, like we were mentioning in the beginning of the episode. It is under My Wife the Dietitian, so it should be pretty easy to find. And look for some videos that we'll be putting out eventually. We'll let you know on here too, but if you're going to be on YouTube, you will see some videos on there eventually. And then we've also got our Facebook and Instagram page. Feel free to visit those as well. Give us some likes and comments. And don't forget to rate and review the show. That's really important for us. And stick around for next week. We will be bringing you something super exciting next week. All right? Have a good one. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.